It's interesting because when I think about what is the good life, what is a simple, happy life, I realise just how much of my life I have been pursuing the opposite. I was a very successful, well, I guess still am a very successful entrepreneur. I've lived a good life. I've lived in huge houses, had cars, travelled all around the world, first class. Have the very best life has to offer. Yet the irony is, when I think about the happiest times in my life, without question, they have nothing to do with those materialistic areas. It's all to do with moments with my family, moments with my friends, moments in nature, moments being creative, whether it be writing or reading, listening to Beethoven, watching my favourite movie, Groundhog Day, which I even wrote a book about and deals with many of these areas. It's very simple things, and sometimes those moments are fleeting, yet it often seems that there's this parallel universe that's just on the other side of me, and sometimes I can touch it and feel it, then other times maybe most of the time I'm sucked back into the habitual chase that we're all involved in, the chase to be successful and get more and more. But as I get older and as I learn more and more about the damage of the material way of living and the search for power, the lust for status, it's absolutely clear to me that we just have to change, and I have to change it. All of us have to change. And the great news is that life could be better when we do change. This is not about wearing a hair shirt. This is not about suffering. It's not about loss. It's actually about gaining our true selves, and that's what is most exciting. Yes, it's scary because you're letting go of so much of who you are. So much of our identity is based on the work we do, what we own, our status. And I think to let go feels like a risk, but I know that on the other side it's so much better. And I think all of us are facing this conflict throughout our life. Which way are we going to be pulled? And right now in this recession, there's a chance for us to collectively work together to create a society, create a lifestyle and a set of beliefs that really brings out that better side of us, that really brings out that more spiritual side of us. And when Maslow wrote about the concept of self-actualization, which I still think is incredibly powerful, it had nothing to do with what car you drove. It had nothing to do with the house you lived in or what clothes you wore. It was all to do with finding meaning through being in the moment, through the quality of what you do, through serving others, through being spontaneous, through being creative, all things which cost nothing. And I think we need to go back and reread Maslow. We need to go back and study Buddha again, because all the clues are throughout history. And the great thing about positive psychology is it's bringing all what was wisdom, what was anecdotal, is giving it real teeth, giving it real evidence that this is the way we could live and we should live. I think one of the challenges of the environmental movement over the last 50 years really is that they fail to present a positive vision for the future. Most of the emphasis has been on what's wrong, on pollution, on global warming, on the melting of the ice caps, the disappearance of species, and these are incredibly important issues. But humans often, I think we all often respond far more effectively to a positive vision. Yes, fear is a motivator, yet we need to know that if we become more sustainable, if we live we pursue a green lifestyle, that life could be better. And I think what's exciting now is there's more and more evidence that yes, life could be very much better if we live more sustainably. Aside from helping to prevent global warming, there's clear health benefits of living more sustainably. Cleaner water, cleaner air. I mean, indoor air pollution is a serious problem in homes, in offices, toxic paints, but also the food that we eat. There's a move towards organic food, which is so much better for us than all the chemicals we find in processed food. So I think the more that we can really equate a healthy planet and healthy lifestyle and healthy body, the better. And I think families in particular, the more they understand about the toxics that they're pumping into their bodies, into their house, into their children, through what we're eating and drinking and breathing at the moment, the more they can understand that and say, no, that's enough, we need to change. But actually, we can have it all. We can have a healthier, we can have greater physical health, we can have greater mental health, and we can have greater planetary health. That's a very exciting area, which I think we're going to see more and more of, making those connections between health and sustainability. And we need to have a positive vision. We need to think about the sort of communities where we can live in, where there are cities and towns powered by renewable energy, with no carbon emissions, no pollution, where there's public transport or electric cars or hybrid cars, where we've got minimal use of fuel, where people are part of the community again and not just living in their houses and never meeting their neighbours or never being involved in anything other than making more money. And where people can put more energy into their hobbies, into music, into arts, into reading, into community events, rather than just obsessively focus on getting wealth. Because what is the purpose of having the wealth if you don't have friends, if you don't have health, if you're locked away and you never see anybody else? It's a very demoralizing way to live. And you know, the greatest truth of all that Buddha said, that Jesus said, but really all the great spiritual leaders throughout history, many of the great philosophers have said, is that what we really want, what we really truly want, is peace of mind. What we really want is very, very simple things, a simple life. But we become confused and distracted along the way by what society tells us we need, by what other people say we need, by what the media says we need. And it's one big lie, really, when you think about it. And we're all guilty. We can all fall for this lie. I mean, all of us have the capacity to be very competitive, to be very materialistic. But my hope is that the future positive vision will help to really bring out and reinforce the other side of us, and I think the deeper, truer, more authentic side of us, which really yearns for this simple, good life.